Welcome everyone. This is going to be the first video in hopefully a series of videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to zone maps with CKSurf on Surf. CKSurf is a surf timer plugin for surf servers. So let's get right down to it. You do need Z flag inside of your admin INI in order to have zone access because Z is basically root. It also gives you zone access if you type /zones or !zones in the chat. So long as you have Z, you'll have this menu on the left where you can create, edit, save zones, edit zone settings. So for this video, we're going to edit our zone settings, and we want to see all sides of the zones that we create as visible. We also want to see start, end, and stage zones. So all of that is set, and you can change all these to see nothing at all, so no zones will show up. You can see just the lower edges where you'll see just a box where the start zone is in green and a box where the start zone is, or where the end zone is in red. Or you can see all sides where you can see the entire zone. And the draw zones, you can see all zones, which doesn't work too well. You can see just start and end, or start and stage and bonus. So let us create a zone with option 1, and this is the beginning of the map here. There's a bonus over there we'll get to later. We're going to create a normal map zone, and we're going to select start zone. Now we're going to start drawing our start zone right at the edge of this. That's going to be your starting point. So when you hit one, just hit the starting point, and then we're going to make sure that we're lined up with this. And I'm just pointing with the mouse, making sure that I'm correctly lined up, and then we're going to hit 5 to save the zone. So this is going to save our entire start zone. That side looks fine. That side's a little yeah, that looks good. If we wanted to, say, edit this zone, we could do 2 to edit zone, select normal map zones on our start zone here. If we hit 8, we can actually stretch the zone by hitting 2. And we can change the width, so we can bring this closer to us, take it farther away. Yeah, we want to do it just a little bit. Damn it. There. So we want to hit 3. Yeah, 1 time's fine. We can also raise and lower the height of the zone. If we hit 6 for height, since I have the incorrect point, it actually raised the bottom of the zone. But if we hit 8, we can lower the height back again. And if we switch our point to point B, we can now make that as tall or short as we want to. We want to make the start zone so you can't jump out of the top of it. Usually 2-player models is a good rule of thumb. If you have walls like this, it's much easier to zone with. So we're going to keep this like it is. We're going to exit out of that, and we're going to hit 5 to save the zone. So this is our start zone. We leave it, timer starts. So, very important. This is a staged map. So in staged maps, when you create the stage zones, it'll also automatically create a checkpoint for you. The rule of thumb about going to another stage is go through the teleporter as slowly as possible, because where you spawn at is where you're going to put your stage zone at. This is completely open here. I know by looking at the map that there is a spawn zone up top there. It's a little square. It drops you right into here. So we want to stay exactly where we're at and to create a zone. It's going to be a normal map zone. And we're going to select stage this time, so 3. Exactly the same as a start zone, but we want to make sure that once players come through that teleporter up here, they hit this stage zone. So we're going to start our drawing about there. And we want to make sure that this box is big enough so that it captures anyone coming through it. So we pointed up the wall like that, make sure that we've got enough space on all of our sides. About there looks fine, and we're going to save this. Now, we're able to see the stage zone as well. And it fell off. Okay. Anyway, we are able to see the stage zone because we have our zone settings set to see all zones and all sides, so we can see it, rectangle, square, whatever you want to call it. Another good thing that you want to test to make sure that your zone works is you want to teleport to the stage that you just created to make sure that you don't get stuck. And you also want to fall off the map or fail that stage just to make sure you end up back in this zone. Another good way to test is to exit your start zone, surf through, make sure you watch the stage at the bottom, and make sure that changes from 1 to 2 because you're going to stage 2. It caught us in the zone and we went to stage 2. You'll also see that the CP in chat says we've completed 50% of the map. That's because we only have 2 stages zoned, and that's fine, that's good. What creating a stage does is it creates a checkpoint with it, so you know how fast you're going. So we have our stage 2 completed. Let's go on to stage 3. Yes, you're not supposed to do this stage like that, but... Alright, so we're at the teleport for 3. We go through it nice and slow. And make sure we're standing in the exact spot where we popped out at, and we're going to create a new zone. Normal map zone, and stage again. We're going to start drawing our zone right where we had the last one at. Make sure we give ourselves enough room and go up the wall, and we're going to hit 5 to save this zone as well. Now we have our stage 3 zone. So let's teleport to it, make sure it works. It does. Let's intentionally fail the stage to make sure we go back. And we are. Good. The important part to remember about zoning is some maps, the teleporter up in the sky has a weird player clip. So if you make this stage zone too high, sometimes you'll get stuck up in the air on the stage. Like, you'll end up here above the zone and you won't be able to do anything. You'll just be stuck there. But you also want to make sure that you make the stage zone big enough so that it captures the player as they go through the stage. So let's go to stage 2, and our stage says on our timer that we're on 2. So we're going to create 2. Or we already created 2. We're going to go to 3. And our timer changed to stage 3. So we're good for that one. Now let's go on to 4. Alright, teleport at 4. Go through nice and slow. And there we are. So, create a new zone, normal map zone, stage, and start drawing our zone. And we're going to use the same spot we did for the last 2 or 3 stages. And we're going to take it up the wall, make sure it's tall enough and it's just above the player model's head, and save it. And we now have a stage 4. So, teleport to 4, make sure it works, it's good. Intentionally fail 4 just to make sure that it works and we don't get stuck in the air, that's good. Let's go back to 3 and surf to 4 just to make sure. Perfect. Stage 4. Alright. On to stage 5. Oh, for those curious, this is Surf Lie Rust Easy that we're zoning. So here's the start of stage 5. I like this stage. Alright. Create our zone, normal zone, stage zone, and we start drawing the zone. Same position we have been drawing it. Make sure we're up the wall far enough and save it with 5. We have our stage, so let's teleport to 5. 5 is good. Let's go to 4 and surf to 5 just to be sure. And the zone captures us. Good. Last test is we want to intentionally fail 5 to make sure we don't get stuck, and we don't, so we're good. Now we finish 5. I don't know if I have enough speed. Oh, yep, okay. So, teleporter to 6. Go through nice and slow. Here we are. And I believe this is the last stage. So let's create another zone, normal map zone, stage, and start drawing our zone. Now, the back wall on this is pretty far away, so I don't really want to and don't like making stage zones that big because that's a lot of room. The thing about stage zones is when you teleport to the zone, you teleport directly into the middle of this box, so you'd spawn like way back here instead of here where we want it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a stage that's flat, just like this. So we're going to save this. Now, we made a two-dimensional square on the floor. I know what you think. It's not a cube. So if I were to go from 5 to 6, this square is not big enough to capture me going through it. It's a zone, but it's not big enough to capture the player model. So what we have to do is we have to edit zone, go to our normal map zones, and this is stage 6. So we're going to choose 6, stage 6. And then it highlights our box for us so we know exactly what we're editing. We hit 8 to go to the next menu, and we hit 2 to stretch the zone. And now we need to raise the height of this zone. So we make sure that we have point B selected. At least I hope that's the correct point. If we hit 6 for height, it should raise our box. So long as our player model can't jump out of this, this is a good zone. So we're going to keep it just like this. We're going to hit 9 to go back one menu. And then we're going to hit 5 to save our zone. There we go. We have a perfect square. Now, let's go to stage 6 to make sure we don't get stuck. Good. Let's go back to stage 5 to make sure once we surf into 6 that it actually sees us in the correct zone. Well, if I could surf, that is. We'll get there eventually. There we are. And stage 6, zone captures us, we're good. Now let's intentionally fail 6 just to be sure that we spawn in the correct stage and box, we're good. Alright, so this is the last stage. Oops. Just knocked something off my mouse pad. I also failed the stage for those paying attention. This is a strange spiral. It's a left-right, so you hit the wall pretty often. There we are. There's our finish. Nice left-right spiral. Now, the easy way to zone an end zone, because this is the end of the map. This entire room is the end of our map. If you're lazy, you can just start your end zone drawing at the corner of the room here, and then point it all the way over here to that wall in that corner. That's going to make this entire room a huge end zone, but that's sloppy and that's not really good zoning. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the points of this spiral cube here to create our end zone. So we're going to create a zone, normal map zone, end is number 2, and we're going to start drawing our zone right here. So right on the bottom of this box. We're going to come over here. We're going to make sure that we're lined up with this. So if we're looking straight up with our mouse, we're right where we want to be. Now, if we look straight down, the end of our zone is going to be exactly where we want it to be. So point directly down, hit 5 to save zone, and we have our end zone. Now, as soon as you exit the spiral, you are in the end zone. That's a good zone. Some people don't like it when the end zones are that close to the end because sometimes you can edge bug these and pop into the end zone anyways without finishing the spiral. But this is a nice clean zone. So let's go back to stage 6, make sure that's good. Yep. I'm going to surf this just to make sure this is working. Just to make sure our end zone's working. We already know it's working because when we finished the zone, it gave us the warning that we finished the zone, or that we finished the map. Well, if I can actually finish the map, that'd be amazing. There we go. And the ding says we're good. So, perfect. Now, the teleporter in the end zone actually takes us to the starting of the bonus, or we can simply go back to the start and go through here. Bonus. So, the good thing to remember about bonuses is sometimes bonuses can have multiple start zones, and as you'll see here, they can have multiple end zones. I'll just fly to the bottom and show you. This bonus has one start zone, but it has 2 end zones. So, we're going to zone a bonus now. So we're going to create a zone. We're going to select bonus zones this time. Also remember that if you're zoning a map, make sure that you zone the map first. If you zone the bonus first, it will recreate the zones and think that the bonus is the actual map instead of the bonus. So we're going to select our bonus zones to create. And it doesn't give us an option to what kind of zone we want to create. It just says create zone bonus start zone. So we're going to start drawing our bonus start zone right about here in this corner. That's good because our start zone line is right on the edge there. We're going to make sure we cover this entire area because people like to start on both left and right. And we're going to make sure that the start zone is big enough to accommodate multiple people and it's high enough that you can't jump out of it. So we're going to hit 2 to save bonus start zone. And we're going to fly to the bottom so that we can create the end zone for the bonus. I'm going to zone this one first. It really doesn't matter which one you zone first, you know, which end zone. So let's start drawing right here. And we're drawing the end zone now. And there's nothing else behind here, so we can make this whole thing an end zone. But that's not really very skillful, so we're only going to zone about half of this. That way, if someone comes off this ramp, they can't just shoot through the top here and, you know, get an easy score. They have to actually control their surf and come down through the middle or the bottom here. So we're going to zone this about halfway up the wall. And you can look at the wall close if you need to. I'll have to do it far away just to see how far up I'm actually zoning this. So that is about half. Now we're going to hit 2 to save the bonus end zone. And now we should be able to see the end zone. And if we go to the bonus, we'll be able to see the bonus start zone. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Now, let's go to the other. That's the end zone that we just zoned. So we're going to zone this one now. Zoning multiple end zones a little bit tricky, but it's not that difficult. What we have to do is we have to hit 2 to edit zones. We select the bonus zones, and then we select bonus 1. Now, we can create a new zone, or we can list zones in this group. We'll see that we have the start zone, which is at the top, and the end zone, which is over there, which is fine. That's good. That's what we want. So let's hit 9 to go back 1. Now let's create a new zone, and we're going to create a secondary end zone. So hit 2 for end, and we're going to start drawing this end zone here. And we're going to do the same thing about halfway up the wall. Make sure that we're in the corner of the wall, just like that. And then hit 5 to save our zone. Now we have both end zones. So let's do a quick run through. Just to make sure that we can complete it. Perfect. Oh, that dank 420 time though. Alright, that concludes our first video on zoning maps for CKSurf. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you come back. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you guys later.